From a very early age, I've always thought that there is more to being a great teacher than just subject knowledge. I've always held very close that communication is key to any interaction between two people of any status. Whether it's husband and wife, student to teacher, communication is key. Effective communication has four stages involving a source that encodes and delivers a message through channels, and the receiver decoding that message and offering feedback as a response. A message sent and the message received can often be very different, and so effective communication is a vital aspect of effective teaching. Effective communication relies on both parties being involved, and so in a classroom setting, it's paramount that the teacher can inspire students to have the right mindset to become active listeners in the classroom. The mindset I'm proposing that we inspire as teachers is referred to as a growth mindset, which in lay terms means students believe they can learn through hard work as opposed to a fixed mindset where they believe their abilities lay solely upon innate talent. I remember learning to drive for the first time with my dad. Although real calm and patient, he was sure that all driving took was practice. With no understanding of the vehicle and no feedback on my progress, I remember struggling for an entire year just to grasp that concept. It was infuriating, failing like time after time and feeling completely void of advancement. I recall thinking to myself that I was just never going to learn, and more importantly, that I never had the ability to. I was the spitting image of a student plagued by a fixed mindset. If it weren't for my grandfather, I would never have moved past that stage. He came to me with a different approach and explained the concept of driving, ensuring that there's nothing to be mad about as long as I learned from the progress. Unknowingly, this was my first introduction to having a growth mindset, where achievement comes from hard work and clear guidance from a really, really good teacher. My whole life has gone into developing and teaching the ideals that I hold value today. Much of my prior teaching experiences actually come from my time spent in the Australian Army Cadets 133 ACU here on the Gold Coast. For years I learnt the content to perfection, everything from navigation to parade drill. It wasn't long before the captain of the unit actually placed me in charge of a classroom, armed with nothing but the knowledge in my head and a template for a lesson plan. I was terrified. My first lesson was a complete disaster. Although the work got done in the end, I just could feel that the majority of the class wasn't really paying any attention. I blamed myself for their lack of interest, actually, believing that maybe I wasn't really suited for the role. I pitched the idea to the captain, who wouldn't hear a bar of it though. After sharing some of his experiences with me, he mentioned that no one's really born with the ability to engage a crowd. It's something you learn along the way. Developing useful strategies over the years, I was actually able to handle my classes with a bit more control. However, I noticed that some strategies seem to excel in classes over others. In the time spent at 133 ACU, I believe I became quite adept at adapting my communicative strategies to suit an array of students. Incorporating a lot of group work and keeping students involved and enthusiastic was always my main goal. This enthusiasm and peer communication resulted in an observed raise in attendance and grades. Through hard work and proper guidance, I was able to learn to effectively communicate and pass on my knowledge to students in various manners that they could not only just understand, but also replicate. This was my first sense of having a professional identity among my peers. In conclusion, learning is an active and developmental part of life, and it's my view that we're all students in need of a growth mindset in order to fully appreciate and achieve our goals. Every student has the power to learn mathematics or science with proper guidance, just as every student could learn to dance or throw a ball given proper instruction. The professional standard of teaching framework 1.1 through to 1.6 involves professional knowledge. This means knowing your student and knowing an effective form of communication that you can use to further the student's physical, intellectual, and social ability. How can one grow without having a growth mindset in the first place? Maimonides once said, "Give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." Instead of filling minds with facts by simply imparting knowledge over our careers, imagine what we could achieve as teachers if we could inspire our students' minds to grow.